Now the men who held Jesus mocked him and beat him. And having blindfolded him, they struck him on the face and asked him,
"Prophesy! Who is the one who struck you?"
And many other things they blasphemously spoke against him. As soon as it was day, the elders of the people, both chief priests and scribes, came together and led him into their council.
If you are the Christ, tell us.
If I tell you, you will by no means believe. And if I also ask you, you will by no means answer me or let me go. Hereafter the Son of Man will sit on the right hand of the power of God.
Are you then the Son of God?
You rightly say that I am.
What further testimony do we need? For we have heard it ourselves from his own mouth.
Then the whole multitude of them arose and led him to Pilate. And they began to accuse him.
"We found this fellow perverting the nation and forbidding to pay taxes to Caesar, saying that he himself is Christ, a king."
"Are you the king of the Jews?"
It is as you say.
So Pilate said to the chief priests and the crowd,
"I find no fault in this man."
but they were the more fierce.
He stirs up the people, teaching throughout all Judea, beginning from Galilee to this place.
When Pilate heard of Galilee, he asked if the man were a Galilean. And as soon as he knew that he belonged to Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him to Herod, who was also in Jerusalem at that time. Now when Herod saw Jesus, he was exceedingly glad, for he had desired for a long time to see him, because he had heard many things about him, and he hoped to see some miracle done by him. Then he questioned him with many words, but he answered him nothing. And the chief priests and scribes stood and vehemently accused him. Then Herod, with his men of war, treated him with contempt and mocked him, arrayed him in a gorgeous robe, and sent him back to Pilate. That very day, Pilate and Herod became friends with each other, for previously they had been at enmity with each other. Then Pilate, when he had called together the chief priests, the rulers, and the people, said to them,
"You have brought this man to me as one who misleads the people. And indeed, having examined him in your presence, I have found no fault in this man concerning those things of which you accuse him. No, neither did Herod, for I sent you back to him. And indeed, nothing deserving of death has been done by him. I will therefore chastise him and release him."
For it was necessary for Pilate to release one to them at the feast. And they all cried out at once,
"Away with this man! Release to us Barabbas!"
Barabbas had been thrown into prison for a certain rebellion made in the city, and for murder. Pilate, therefore, wishing to release Jesus, again called out to them. But they shouted,
"Why? What evil has he done? I have found no reason for death in him. I will therefore chastise him and let him go."
But they were insistent, demanding with loud voices that he be crucified. And the voices of these men and of the chief priests prevailed. So Pilate gave sentence that it should be as they requested. And he released to them the one they requested, who for rebellion and murder had been thrown into prison. But he delivered Jesus to their will.